My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the FLIQS legions, loyal servant to the true Emperor Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance.
Today, we will look at a historical fiction piece entitled Gladiator Spoilers Ahead. Before we start, hit the like button. It's free and will help me to grow this channel. The film opens as General Maximus leads his Roman legions against the Germanic barbarians in the year 180 AD. We see the Roman army assembling their forces in preparation for battle. The Romans begin their attack by launching flaming arrows and other deadly projectiles. The barbarian horde undeterred attacks ferociously. The two sides unleash deadly hand-to-hand combat on each other. The Roman army prevails, ending a prolonged war. General Maximus's victory earns the esteem of his troops, and most importantly, the elderly Emperor Marcus Aurelius. The Emperor's son Commodus and daughter Lucilla have been summoned to join the campaign. They ride in luxury. Commodus is clearly coddled and insecure. The Emperor is about to name his successor, and Commodus confident.
Father, congratulations.
Honor Maximus. He won the battle.
General, Rome salutes you.
Lucilla and Maximus apparently had a romantic. At some time in the past, Lucilla had since married, had a son, and been widowed to the shock of the morally upstanding Maximus.
I want you to become the protector of Rome after I die.
The Emperor appoints him as his successor by passing his own son Commodus. Maximus, longing to go home to his own wife and son, tries to decline the honor, but the Emperor insists.
There is one more duty that I ask of you before you go home.
When Commodus learns he will not be emperor, he is visibly shaken. He accuses his father of never loving him. The Emperor overcomes with emotion, falls to his knees, and embraces his son Commodus, then smothers his father, murdering him, declaring himself Emperor Communist, asks Maximus for his loyalty.
Your emperor asked for your loyalty, Maximus. Take my hand. I only offer it once.
Which Maximus, realizing Communists' involvement in the Emperor's death, refuses Communists.
Please be careful, that was not prudent.
Prudent? The Emperor has been slain.
The Emperor died of natural causes.
Then orders Maximus arrested and executed. He also dispatches Praetorian guards to murder Maximus's wife and young son Maximus using his combat prowess.
Guards! Please don't fight, Maximus.
Narrowly escaping his execution, he then races home. He discovers his family's charred and crucified bodies in the smoldering ruins of his villa. After burying his wife and son, a grieving Maximus comes to the exhaustion and collapses on their graves. Slave traders find Maximus and take him to Zucobar, a rugged province in North Africa. He is soon purchased by Proximo, the head of a gladiator school. Distraught and nihilistic over the death of his family and betrayal by his empire, Maximus initially refuses to fight. Here we see the gladiators preparing for the arena. Proximo gives them a pep talk before entering. Some of the men are so fearful that they pee on themselves. Proximo's gladiators fought well, and by the end of the battle proved to be an effective and formidable force. Proximo tells Maximus that his abilities as a fighter won't be enough in Rome. He needs to win the affections of the audience. Maximus at first doesn't like the idea of playing to the crowd, but Proximo explains that it might save his life, revealing that he himself used to be a gladiator and after gaining popularity was freed by the Emperor Marcus Aurelius. He shows Maximus the wooden sword he received. At that time, Maximus realizes this strategy might get him close enough to Commodus to get his revenge. The first battle takes place in the majestic Colosseum in Rome. It is a huge spectacle, a recreation of the battle of Zama. Maximus and his team are pitted against a much more powerful force. They ride on chariots and are equipped with projectile weapons. Using his experience in real battle, Maximus leads Proximo's gladiators to decisive victory against a more powerful enemy. For much to the amazement of the crowd, Emperor Commodus, impressed by the show, descends into the arena to meet the victor. He requests Maximus to remove his helmet and reveal his identity, and is stunned to discover that the leader of Proximo's gladiators is Maximus.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, loyal servant to the true Emperor Marcus Aurelius.
Because of the crowd's roaring approval for him, gives the up sign, allowing Maximus to live and sulks out of the arena. As the games continue, Commodus pits Maximus against Tigris of Gaul Rome, only undefeated gladiator in an arena surrounded by chained tigers with handlers instructed to target Maximus. Tigris is a huge man decked out in shining silver armor. He begins to fight by kicking dust in Maximus' face. Every time Maximus comes near a trap, a hungry tiger is released. Eventually, a tiger gets hold of Maximus, and it looks like the battle is over, but Maximus escapes the beast. Another cat grabs Maximus, but he is able to stab it to death. Following an intense battle, Maximus narrowly defeats Tigress and awaits the communist decision to kill or spare Tigress. Though Commodus votes for death with a thumbs down, Maximus spares Tigress, deliberately insulting the Emperor and garnering the audience's approval with his bitter enemy, now known as Maximus. The merciful communist becomes more frustrated at his inability to kill Maximus or stop his ascending popularity. While Communist's own popularity sinks following the fight, Maximus meets his former servant Cicero, who reveals that Maximus' army remains loyal to him. They are camped at the port of Ostia. Lucilla, increasingly fearful of her brother's instability, forms a plot with Maximus and Senator Gracchus to reunite Maximus with his army and overthrow Commodus Communist. However, learns of his sister's betrayal from her young son Lucius and forces her to reveal the plot. By threatening the boy, Commodus sends Praetorian guards to storm Proximo's gladiator barracks, but the gladiators decide to battle the guards. Maximus' skill exceeds his own. Commodus deliberately stabs Maximus with a stiletto, puncturing his lung, and has the wound concealed beneath the gladiator's armor. In the arena, rose petals shower down. The two men exchange blows back and forth, but Maximus is clearly hurt and bleeding inside his lung. Maximus finally uses what strength he has left and rips the sword from Communist's hands. Maximus then drops his own sword, but Communist pulls a hidden stiletto and renews his attack. Maximus then beats Commodus into submission and kills him with his own stiletto. As Communist collapses in the now silent Colosseum, a dying Maximus sees his wife and son in the afterlife. He reaches for them. Maximus collapses, and Lucilla rushes to his side. After being reassured that her son is safe and Communist is dead, Maximus dies and wanders into the afterlife to his home and family. In the distance, Senator Gracchus and Proximo's gladiators carry his body out of the Colosseum. Thanks for reading. If you want to see more movies like this, then subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below. Tell me which movies you would like me to recap in the future.